Netflix increases prices again, and Goldman Sachs wants out of Apple Card again. This is MacVoices. This edition of MacVoices is supported by the new MacVoices Discord, available to all of our MacVoices patrons. Sign up and join in the conversation in your new favorite online group at patreon.com/MacVoices. So, while Apple TV Plus is trying to gain followers and users, Netflix seems to be trying to drive them away because they just announced yet another price increase for all of their plans. The standard plan with ads is $7.99 a month, up from $6.99. The standard without ads is $17.99, up from $15.49 per month. And the premium right now tops out at $24.99, up from $22.99 per month.
Yeah.
Somebody say something. I'm fascinated by this.
This is.
I think they're trying to find the ceiling. Yeah.
This is the streaming world that, as we know today, there continues to be changes in the streaming world. Max is going to be raising prices, Hulu and Disney Plus, and all them raising prices. It just is never ending. And then meanwhile, you got all these cable companies that are shutting down, all the small players. Rumors about Xfinity and Spectrum doing merge. Excuse me. Excuse me. It just is a continual change of the landscape with streaming. I mean, I know Paramount Plus is getting bought out. You got, Xfinity Comcast is worried about their business or where they're going. They're spinning off those couple of those channels we talked about a while ago. So it's just, I'm not surprised, but Netflix is. I think they're going to justify it only because they just knocked it out of the park because they had something like 19 million subscribers this past quarter because of NFL football and the live events they've been having. If those subscribers stay, that's another story. Unless they have some more interesting live events, and they've got some new content. A lot of their new content's coming too. But can you justify that much? I'm starting to question it now.
Well, the article I posted here from 9 to 5 Mac makes the point that the increase came the same day the company reported some crazy great results for Q4 2024, right, including 16% revenue growth and operating margin expanded 6 points to 27%. Operating income exceeded $10 billion for the first time in their history. So I don't want anybody to say anything about Apple's profit margins ever again. Because this just, and Dave, you bring up an interesting point. Are they trying to ride the wave of the successful football broadcast on Christmas Day, or broadcasts on Christmas Day. I trying to get this in, sneak this in under the wire. I don't know. There was a long time I would say to you that, do an evaluation of how much entertainment you get out of any service, and then, per month, and then measure that even on a per hour basis. But $25 for the premium, and let's see, Barry in the chat said there's content you can't watch even if you're only paying for the tier with ads. So I don't know. I mean, does anybody here a premium subscriber, and what does premium get you that standard without ads doesn't?
I believe I am. I have it because of the multiple screens that can be on, because you can have it on, I think, up to four screens, where if you get the lower price one, I think you only are limited to like two, I think it is. So I think that's a lot of it. And then you get 4K, which is not a big deal because a lot of people don't have 4K TVs, and sometimes some people do, some people don't. I really don't know what's the difference, honestly. I mean, you do notice a little bit of a difference, but I mean, is it worth that extra money for it? But at least Netflix includes it. You go to YouTube TV, and then you have to pay another extra $10 to get 4K. So there lies the exact example where they're nickel and diming everybody in this industry with streaming these days.
Yeah, I think I'm on premium too. And it kind of fell into having it on more devices, because at that time that you could share your logins without getting caught by Netflix. I had what?
Not anymore.
Yeah, I know. So I think this is good reason for me to drop down to a lower tier, because I don't think my kids are using it. I'm not sure. They live across town. And I don't think we will simultaneously be on at the same time watching Netflix. At least 6 of us won't be on simultaneously. So good reason to drop.
Yeah,
cancel your plan. You'll know real quick who's watching and who isn't.
Yeah. Hey, what happened?
Yeah.
I am on the premium plan, but it also gets billed to my T-Mobile package, so I do get a little bit of a stipend from T-Mobile to pay for my Netflix bill each month.
Yeah, Barry said in the chat room that he only has Netflix because it's paid for by our T-Mobile cell plan.
Yeah,
and he wonders how much longer that'll continue. So Dave, is that only partially paid for by T-Mobile?
For me, it's partially paid because I have the premium package. They give you the standard plan as it would be fully paid for. So I have to look at my bill, see what I get. But yeah, that's whatever the difference is. I pay it on my T-Mobile bill.
Yeah.
Rich says he uses a digital antenna and YouTube, $0. Sorry, Webb.
Oh, I was just going to say we have it here, but it's actually my wife's account, and I'm not sure what it is, even though I know it's the premium, but I don't know what I'm paying. I keep thinking that, are they testing the market to see what the ceiling is? They keep going up and up and up until people just protest. But right now, what is it? They got 300. How many users did they say? Anyway, a gazillion users. Yeah.
Million. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's worldwide, and I think who knows what the pricing is in other countries, currency exchange, and all that kind of stuff. So,
yeah, I pay an extra $16 a month for the premium through the T-Mobile.
I think it may be time to reevaluate subscriptions.
Oh yeah.
And especially your Netflix subscription. And let's see, who asked it? Cletus. Skydance is getting ready to buy Paramount Global.
That's it.
And the merger is expected to close the first half of 2025. I just did a quick look up. So, and Jeff, can you clarify? You say it's only the ad-supported tier that has restricted content?
Sure. So you have the standard with ads, standard without ads. So standard with ads, that's the $7 a month package, now $8 a month. Standard without ads, that's the one that I'm on, $15 $14.49, now $17.99. The one that's with ads, that's the one where they restrict what content you can watch. So there's a lot of Netflix originals that aren't available with the ad-supported version. You have to pay the extra money to go to standard without ads.
So in the case
Could
of
you
go ahead.
diagram that, please? Sorry, Dave.
In the case of my T-Mobile perk, if I would just go with standard with ads, that's free. I don't have to pay anything. T-Mobile pays for it. If I go to standard, it's $8.50 per month extra. And then I told you I'm on the premium. That's $16. So,
If you don't mind reviewing, other than people who've said it, how many people here subscribe to Netflix currently at any level?
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry, what's the question, Chuck?
How many people here, subscribe to Netflix at any level? Okay, so the majority of the panel does. Eric thinks he does. He's not sure.
well, it's not my subscription, but yeah, it shows up when I watch.
I think this is the ceiling for me. And there's a show that a few people have said, oh, you need to watch this. And it's like Dark Wind.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's 2 seasons. So I'll crank through the 2 seasons and then cancel.
It's based on the Tony Hillerman novels.
Okay. But
I'm
yeah,
just-
$18 a month. I'm not watching Netflix enough anymore to get $18 a month.
Is this a Western thing, Jeff?
It's like a show about a bunch of people that work in the police department on a reservation.
Yeah. It's a tribal police mysteries.
Tribal police. Thank you.
It's listed in here as a thriller, but I wasn't sure exactly what kind of thriller. So, okay,
Apparently a really good one based on what people tell me.
good. Well, report back to us. Wow, yeah, Rotten Tomatoes shows it at 100%.
All right. Well, I guess I better binge that real quick and then drop Netflix.
Yeah. Once again, this panel is hardly representative of everybody, and I'll ask the chat room too. But how many of you actively, aggressively dip in and out of some of these services specifically for a show or 2 or 3, watch those shows and then cancel it until something else comes along that you want to see? Eric said he does.
Olympics.
Every 4 years.
And then I stop.
Okay.
Sometimes I make a mistake and get renewed.
Well, that's Eric. That's kind of where I'm going with it. I think is that I feel like anything now. I mean, I tell the S lady constantly to remind me if I sign up for a subscription, I want to know when it's renewing, and then I tell her to remind me a week ahead of time so I can do a little research, because inevitably I will forget it. And there's services out there that will help remind you, but I prefer to control it myself, and that's one real easy way to do it.
That's one reason why I really like the Apple subscriptions, because you can subscribe to something and then cancel it instantly, and then you have it for the duration. So if you're doing a flight and you want flight board, you can sign up for your week or 2 weeks, cancel it. You still have the 2 weeks, so you can get there, you can come back, and then you don't even have to think about it. It's very convenient.
Agreed. Before we leave this, Marty, you see, I don't have one yet, in spite of your best attempts. There's no Vision Pro app for Netflix?
Nope. That's another thing, because I won't think about looking for, if in the same thing with YouTube, there's no YouTube app. They've also apparently shut down Juno again, or taken it completely off, which was the substitute YouTube app. But yeah, no Vision Pro application so I can access my Netflix. So You look at the premium tier and they've got 4K Ultra. And it's like, why would I get that unless I'm going to watch it on a screen? And if I have Vision Pro, I would be more apt to pay for the premium if I was that much into Netflix, to be able to have the 4K. So.
Barry in the chat room says, we don't dip in and out often, but occasionally evaluate the value price and make changes. We dropped Disney Plus last fall. So does Disney Plus have, serious question. I mean, do they have anything that is new and interesting other than Star Wars and Marvel? Are there any shows out there that are catching fire that I'm not aware of?
We are a very specific demographic. So we're the people who aren't likely to see the other stuff that they have going on. It's like asking, does Paramount have anything new happening besides whatever the next Star Trek is? And the answer to both is yes. I can't tell you what the names of any of the shows are because they're not my shows. But yeah, there's new stuff coming out all the time, and it's very compelling for a lot of people. It's just what I want is a very narrow segment of what they offer.
The challenge is that they're doing these bundles. And so like Disney is bundled with Hulu, is also bundled with ESPN. And so here's something for the kids, here's something for the adults. And, I'm going to maybe want both of those services and I can get a better deal if I bundle them. And then they were adding something new, another service that they've been promoting.
I have the bundle of Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max. I pay that as a bundle.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I get $7 back a month on my American Express card too.
Yeah, it used to be that Max was with AT&T, and then that connection dropped. And as much as I probably didn't look at stuff on Max, but it was a loss.
Yep.
That stopped. I think I'm still getting that through AT&T.
Well, I'm not seeing it. I tried to get it through my account. Maybe it has. Maybe the chat room does.
The app changed. That was confusing.
Oh yeah.
Name.
So Jeff, I don't mean to keep this thing going, but I'm going to keep it going for a minute because I don't disagree with you about Paramount or Disney Plus. How do you feel like Apple TV Plus falls in that category too, or do you think that the demographics that the range of programming there is a little bit broader?
How about if I say yes and no?
Very democratic.
Thank you. Okay, so yes, Apple has content that appeals to niche groups, and that's totally fine. But I think that they're being very strategic about the new content that they bring in, so that they can have a wider base overall coming in to get their quality content, and so maybe they're having people that are crossing over into multiple niches.
That's an interesting idea that I hadn't thought about. That they are actively maneuvering you. Not in a creepy way. Yeah, not in a creepy way, but just in a very business-like way. And Jeff, you tell me, do you want to touch on what you put in our private chat, or should we just leave that alone?
I feel like I'm talking too much already. So how if I just drop the bomb and you move on? So here's what I put in the chat. I feel like the streaming companies are doing their best to push people back to pirating. And I'll just leave it there. And I'll try and not talk as much.
Well, no, I don't. I want you to talk as much because that's something that I've been wondering now for quite some time with these price increases. That there are a lot of issues with pirating some of this stuff, and I certainly don't want to advocate it in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
but human nature is human nature. And I feel like, especially we go the whole way back to the start of the Netflix conversation, they're making an ungodly amount of money, and they decide on that same day to push prices up with no explanation other than to say that we feel like we need more money to continue to improve Netflix. That's like me saying I need more money to, improve my lawn.
Well, maybe you do.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah,
Chuck, what triggered that idea for me was when Apple started iTunes Music. And the purpose was to make it as easy for people to buy content. Strip away all the barriers. What are we seeing here with someone just mentioned the Disney packages. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now it gets more complicated to get the content you want. When Brian's here, he's the expert on talking to us about all the different packages you have to do to watch sports. That's like the poster child for this is way too complicated. How can I steal it instead just so my brain doesn't break? And it's if you make it complicated for people and you make it too expensive, then you're just going to push people back into doing what all of these companies were hoping to break us out of, which is pirating content, because it's just a lot easier to go find someone's BitTorrent than it is to figure out what packages you have to buy to watch some show.
The thing is, things have changed with pirating too, though. I mean, back in the day, it was like a big thing to do, and people were out there, BitTorrent crazy, Pirate Bay, going all out and all the crazy stuff here. So it's really become a lot harder to do it, honestly. I mean, you had all those pirating channels that you go on and you find a site and you can, I can watch the sports on this pirated site. And one of my buddies would say, yeah, I'm not in Chicago anymore. I want to be able to watch the Chicago sports. So I found this site, check it out. But then they get shut down because they get caught because they know where it's coming from. It's gonna get reported. Same thing with BitTorrent. There's plenty of times that they find out that someone's downloading the BitTorrent content and your internet service provider gets notified of it, and then you get warned. Okay, don't be doing this anymore, or we're going to shut you down. So it's gotten a lot harder to do it these days than it has before. A lot of people use the Pirate Bay. That site moves around every 5 seconds, honestly, with different places it shows up from, but it's still out there. But I think you hit the nail on the head. The fact of the matter is that it's so much easier to download this content, going into like an iTunes store or or any place like Apple Music now, or even Netflix and a lot of these other streaming services, and just have that now. I mean, I have drivefuls of MP3s from years ago. Why do I need them anymore? Because I've been a continuous subscriber to Apple Music. So I mean, it was fun back in those days. Even go back to the Napster days. Think about what that was going on. That was a fun times, I must say, during that eight time. But it's a lot harder now, I tell you.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Okay. But I think all the points are well taken, and the constant friction. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of feel like that Amazon may be the smartest of the bunch, because they give you a service that we all want, and that's the next day shipping or second day shipping, and they've stuck a video service on top of it that can help feed some of that, but more importantly, it's just there. So I've got a video service that I admit I use Fire TV and the Amazon services probably more than just about anything else other than Apple TV Plus. For one, they're there. For two, some of the original shows are really great. 3, there are plenty of the ad-supported channels out there that come through Fire TV that I can always find something to watch if I am in the very unlikely scenario that I have free time that I just want to kill and watch something, there's no problem finding something, old or new. So and they just, they raised their price
Right.
with the understanding that, I'm still doing the shipping. So if I'm buying a lot of stuff from Amazon, then I'm getting the value for my money and the video service on top of it.
Didn't
And
they add
here's-
ads?
Sorry, Eric.
Didn't they add ads as well?
Yeah,
They
but
raised the
for
price and
$3
added
a
ads.
month.
Right.
And they did it right after selling me a 1-year subscription. I have not yet forgiven them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they did, Eric, but not as bad as some of these. Some of the
Yeah.
Apple TV I can watch and I get no ads. I mean, I wouldn't be so bitter if they didn't wait until right after I said, okay, I'll take a year. I don't know if I really need it because I had been buying it off and on. I'd buy a month and they did a big special and said, hey, this is great. So I said, fine, I'll do it for a year. And then they said, here are your ads.
Yeah, we told them, Eric, that you were going to do that. So they added the ads just for that purpose.
Marty,
I
got a
have
kickback.
I have gotten back at Amazon in my own special way when they keep raising their prices for delivery, and then it gets kind of passed on to the streaming media thing. I just keep buying more stuff from them,
That'll show
and
up.
that
Yeah.
shows them. So I'm increasing the amount that they have to pay for shipping stuff to me. So take
are
that,
you
Amazon.
doing the really
I'm
cool
with you.
thing where you have 5 things you want to buy, so you order one each on each day, so they have to do 5 different deliveries because screw those guys.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
No, I
guys
don't
put-
want to bundle my shipping. I want it tomorrow. And if you can't give it to me tomorrow, then you're going to have to split the box.
You guys are tough, man. You guys have thought this out. And Webb, say something.
I know. I'm doing the same thing. And so I'll show you bastards. I'm going to buy more stuff. I'm going to
We're
get this shipping out of
sticking
you.
it to 'em.
Box
Yeah.
up that piano. I need a new piano.
Yeah.
And sometimes when the stuff is not right, I take it back just down the street to UPS and make them ship it back to them at their own cost.
Wow.
So isn't that great?
Have you ever bought something just so you can ship it back to them and make them have to eat that cost?
No.
I'm just asking.
Well,
because
he's
I'm kinda
not going to
feeling like
admit
you're
to
my
it.
hero.
At least not on camera.
I'm not that cruel, Jeff.
Yet.
Oh, man. The next one, we're finally going to get away from this, but the next one, though, is probably just as bad because we've been hearing about this now for a while, but the Goldman Sachs CEO says Apple Card contract may end early. And there have been other articles that say they are in talks with at least 2 other card providers. The sooner the better.
And who are the 2 companies?
Who are the 2 companies, Webb?
Well, it's JP Morgan Chase and Barclays. And I said on this show months ago that Barclays is the taker. So I could be wrong. The proof will be when it comes out, but I've still got my money on Barclays. Barclays gives them the international footprint that they really want now.
They did partner with them in the past.
Hmm?
It seems that one of the big sticking points is that first day of the month thing. And there was a time that would have made a lot more sense to me, but now I feel like it's to their benefit because they're hoping that if it's in the middle of the month, that maybe you'll miss the payment. It's harder to miss the payment if it's on the first of the month because it happens every month. But otherwise, your due dates are all over with other credit cards. Your due dates are kind of all over the map. You can never say it's always going to be the second Tuesday, at least not with my cards.
Right.
So, you know, I maybe I'm just becoming overly paranoid, more paranoid than I was, but I just don't feel like that should be that big a deal now. We have e-statements, you have e-payments. You know, it's not like the processing is done by hand or anything. So what's the big deal with the first of the month?
I think
This is another.
Go ahead. Go ahead,
Lots
Marty.
of people.
This is another corporation that I'm trying to disrupt by paying the card off probably a couple of days after I make the purchase. So I never have to worry about the first of the month, and they lose any interest. So, and I get my 3%.
Okay. What?
Oh, I was just going to say, you know, I think the billing date, I can see why Apple likes that as kind of a marketing deal, but I think the credit card companies just wants to kind of even out that workflow and not have it all happen on the same day of the month, the first day of the month for everybody. So I think it's negotiable. I think that of all the things that Apple wants to maintain, I think that they could very easily loosen up that requirement if they can keep some of the cashback things, and that's probably where the credit card company is probably taking the biggest hit anyway, is the aggressive cashback features that they keep promoting.
Jeff, I think you were in there too.
Webb already said it all. Well done.
Okay. Jeff and Webb agree on something. That's just a little terrifying.
What the hell is going on?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's the second time I've sworn today. I apologize.
That's all right. That's all right. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.